The change of the situation was extremely comical. Little E had suddenly charged into Hun Huzi's fire cauldron and grabbed the embryonic medicinal pill that had yet to take shape. This had not only caused Hun Huzi to become furious, even Xiao Yin was stunned. This matter had nothing to do with him. Little E had taken his own initiative. Yao Dan and the many elders from the Yao clan on the stadium watched this scene with a stunned expression. A moment later, their faces twitched. They had comical expressions of wanting to laugh, but forcing themselves not to. No one had imagined that Xiao Yan's heavenly flame spirit would be so extreme. Hun Huzi had merely snatched some of their energy. Yet, it ruthlessly charged into the other party's fire cauldron and snatched the embryonic pill away. You deserve it. Hun Huzi's actions early had irritated the elders from the Yao clan, so they laughed in a soft, gloating fashion. Yao Dan, who was in the leader's seat, shook his head without knowing whether or not he ought to laugh or cry. A proper medicinal pill competition had ended up in this strange situation where the competitors snatched from each other. This caused one to feel helpless. This little brat really doesn't follow an ordinary path. Yao Lao chided with a smile. He was unaware that this matter was completely unrelated to Xiao Yin. In front of many gazes, Little E in the sky flashed and appeared in front of Xiao Yin. That small fleshy face was laughing. His hands were hugging a light cluster that was larger than his body. If one saw through the light cluster, one would vaguely see a baby-like light figure. This was the embryonic form of the medicinal pill Hun Huzi had been refining. Xiao Yin, I will rip you into pieces today. The sound of wind and thunder exploded a short distance away. Hun Huzi's face was densely cold. His demeanor from earlier had been destroyed by Little E. This was the first time that such a thing had happened to him. The embryonic pill he had refined after much hardship had been taken away by Little E even before he could see its shape. The fury within his heart could not be described with words. After Hun Huzi's furious cry sounded, a black flame suddenly shot out of his fire cauldron in all directions before it turned into a black fire dragon that crazily rushed toward Xiao Yin. Its huge mouth was filled with an endless devouring force. Hun Huzi, since you like energy, this elderly self shall give some to you. A green sea of flames suddenly swept over from below after the black fire dragon rushed forward. Countless huge trees grew almost instantly, after which they appeared like vines as they entangled the black fire dragon. Old man Shenong, you actually dare oppose me? Although this sudden attack did not really harm Black Fire Dragon, it had still managed to obstruct it. Hun Huzi's expression immediately turned cold once the dragon was slowed. He looked at old man Shenong in the distance and cried out in a stern voice. This elderly self has already lived for so long. I have never been afraid of anyone. If I have the ability, I wish to eliminate a traitor like you who has betrayed your teacher. Otherwise, you bring shame to the face of all alchemists. Old man Shenong coldly laughed as he replied to Hun Huzi's sharp cry. His tone appeared quite sharp. Given your strength? Are you sick of living, old fellow? I have not even begun targeting that life spirit flame of yours, yet you dare to provoke me. Hun Huzi's eyes were dark and cold. A savage smile lifted on the corner of his eyes. He clenched his large hand, and the black fire dragon roared at the sky. It opened its huge mouth toward the green sea of flame below. A devouring power erupted as it swallowed the green sea of flames into its body. Woo! A pale black tornado was ruthlessly swung into Hun Huzi's body just as he was about to swallow the sea of flames. A flame exploded and actually sent the black fire dragon flying. Wanhua, is your Yao clan trying to become enemies with my Hun clan? Hun Huzi's expression became extremely terrifying after being obstructed again. A devouring look shot toward Elder Wanhua in the distance as he demanded in a dense voice. The competition has nothing to do with the clans. Don't tell me that only you are allowed to attack me and I am not allowed to do the same? What a joke. Elder Wanhua waved his sleeve and ridiculed Hun Huzi. All right, all right. The corner of Hun Huzi's eyes twitched. He ended up laughing from extreme anger. His arm continued to tremble from anger. Strange black flames wiggled like poisonous snakes deep within his eyes. These flames were about to escape from his eyes when Hun Huzi appeared to have thought of something. He hesitated for a moment and withdrew his gaze. He coldly laughed. You are thinking of blocking me with the strength of the both of you? The black fire dragon suddenly rushed forward after his voice sounded. It firmly wrapped around the tornado that the 9 serene wind flame had turned into. The 2 enormous creatures wildly churned in the sky. Hot rain made of fire descended from the sky. Fortunately, with the intervention of the elders from the Yao clan, the Medicine Mountain was not destroyed by the rain made of fire. Xiao Yin watched the 3 great heavenly flames engage in a chaotic battle a great distance away. He involuntarily felt a little surprised that Old Man Shinnong and Elder Wanhua would intervene and lend him a hand. It seemed that it was really not easy to deal with Hun Huzi. There is not much time. I must first extract the energy from this embryonic pill. A thought passed through Xiao Yan's heart, after which he returned his focus to the embryonic pill from earlier. The energy needed to refine a Tier 9 mysterious pill was far too shocking, but if he added Hun Huzi's embryonic pill, he would gain a higher chance of success. Snatching the energy from someone else's embryonic pill was an action that could not be undertaken by a regular alchemist because the 2 types of medicinal pills were different. The pill refinement would end in failure if they were randomly mixed. However, Xiao Yin did not worry about such a concern. With the purifying ability of the purifying demonic lotus flame, anything that entered Little Yi's body would be turned into the purest energy. This included the various medicinal properties in the embryonic pill. Little E, who possessed a mental connection with Xiao Yin, was aware of the thought that had passed through Xiao Yan's mind. He widened his mouth and devoured the embryonic pill. A vast and mighty energy crazily surged within his body before rapidly swelling. He transformed into a giant baby that remained suspended in the sky. Kiki. After Little Yi's body swelled, the light cluster within his body brightened. The light cluster then transformed into a huge light pillar that shot into the fire cauldron. The frightening energy contained within the light pillar was so vast and mighty that it caused one's expression to change. Bastard! The embryonic pill had finished being refined. Hun Huzi, who had some connection with it, immediately sensed something. His eyes turned blood red. A furious cry sounded. His figure charged into the black fire dragon. When his body entered it, the fire dragon's strength immediately soared. The dragon tail was swung, exploding the green sea of fire and the black fire tornado apart. Xiao Yin frowned as he looked at Hun Huzi, who had charged over with a surging, killing intent. He flicked his finger, and a black light flashed and appeared beside him. The Northern King's feet ruthlessly slammed against empty air. Its body appeared like a cannonball as it collided with the black fire dragon. An unusually intense battle erupted. The cluster of light within Little Yi's body slowly dimmed after Xiao Yin summoned the Northern King to fight Hun Huzi. Finally, it disappeared. The energy inside his body had been purified and had poured into Xiao Yan's fire cauldron. It's still not enough. Even though the energy within the fire cauldron had become as viscous as a liquid after having devoured Hun Huzi's embryonic pill, it still did not show any signs of forming. Xiao Yin frowned upon noticing this resistance. The energy that a Tier 9 mysterious pill required was far too frightening. Xiao Yin, the medicinal properties of my embryonic pill were disturbed by Hun Huzi. Today, I shall give you a blessing. Whether you can refine the Tier 9 mysterious pill that I have sought for all my life will depend on your luck. Old man Shinnong in the distance quickly saw through Xiao Yan's situation. While Xiao Yan was feeling a headache because of the issue of energy, he waved his hand, and a cluster of light flew out of his medicinal cauldron. Finally, it shot toward little E. "Thank you, Elder Shinnong." Xiao Yan rejoiced upon seeing the light shooting over. He cupped his hands and thanked Old Man Shinnong. "Ugh, I have not seen a Tier 9 mysterious pill be born for hundreds of years. This time around, I will treat this as an eye-opener." Elder Wanhua by the side hesitated for a moment after seeing what Old Man Shinnong did. Finally, he softly sighed and tossed the embryonic medicinal pill in his medicinal cauldron to Xiao Yan in front of the stunned gazes of many Yao clan elders. "Thank you very much." Xiao Yan took another glance at Elder Wanhua. His heart had formed a good impression of this member of the Yao clan, the first good impression of the entire clan. He cupped both of his hands and ceased delaying, after which he tossed the 2 embryonic medicinal pills into Little Yi's body. They immediately turned into 2 vast and mighty light pillars that shot into his medicinal cauldron. After an incomparably mighty energy poured in, the liquid energy surging within the fire cauldron rapidly melted. A faint light slowly appeared in the middle of the cauldron before filling with liquid energy. Rumble! Dark clouds began to cover the clear sky the moment this tiny light spot appeared. The black mass covered the land. Black thunderbolts, which carried a destructive force, rapidly shuttled through the clouds. The deep roar of rumbling thunder caused many people to reveal stunned faces. It was the first time they had seen such terrifying pill lightning. Xiao Yan lifted his head. His eyes were wildly heated as he looked at the black lightning that covered the sky. His sleeve suddenly shook and the fire cauldron's cover was automatically flipped. A wave of medicinal fragrance that would not scatter swiftly spread apart. In the end, it formed various beads of different lusters that descended from the sky, as though a grand pill rain was occurring. The divine scene made the hearts of many alchemists involuntarily quiver. They actually began to kneel down. Yao Dan in the leader's seat inhaled a deep breath of air as he watched this scene. His voice trembled slightly as he softly muttered, "Pill rain descends. Mysterious pill appears." Da-da. Pills poured down from all over the sky and landed on the square, emitting a clear rain droplet-like sound. This kind of pills might not be considered medicinal pills, but they are formed from pure energy. Consuming it would be greatly beneficial to one's body. Xiao Yan's body was suspended in the sky. Even with his calmness, his eyes involuntarily revealed an expression of wild joy. He had heard about the phrase, "Pill rain descend. Mysterious pill appears." However, it was the first time he had personally witnessed such a mysterious scene. It has actually really succeeded. Xiao Yan received a medicinal pill with his hand, which trembled slightly. This result had completely exceeded his expectations. Even with his current ability, his chances of success in refining a Tier 9 mysterious pill would not exceed 40%. However, if one was to really discuss about this pill refinement, there was indeed some element of luck within it. A medicinal pill contained the energy of 4 embryonic pills. This kind of matter could be described as extremely rare. The 4 embryonic pills contained various different medicinal properties. Although most of the medicinal strength had been turned into pure energy after Little Yi's refinement, there was still a trace of medicinal property lingering within it. These slight medicinal properties would merge into Xiao Yan's embryonic pill and mix together, adding the fierce refinement by the purifying demonic lotus flame. It had underwent a slight change that no one could expect. The result of that change seemed to have made up for some imperfection within the embryonic pill and result in the successful refinement of this pill. If any one of these various coincidences were to be not exist, it was likely that even if Xiao Yan had absorbed the energy from the 3 embryonic pills, he would likely end up failing. However, there was no ifs in this world. Everyone present would not bother about this kind of imaginary ifs. They could see with their own eyes that Xiao Yin had actually successfully refined a Tier 9 mysterious pill. The Tier 9 mysterious pill, which no one had successfully refined in hundreds of years, had descended in front of their very own eyes. Rumble. The black lightning, like huge python, wildly shuttled through the thick, dark clouds in the sky. That ferocious heavenly might cause the necks of many to shrink. They were afraid that the black thunderbolt would descend onto their heads. Bang! The 1,000-feet large fire cauldron suddenly trembled while dark clouds churned in the sky. Immediately, a light pillar erupted into the sky. It was vaguely possible to see an egg-like light cluster within the light pillar. The enormous light pillar was inserted into the thunderclouds in front of many pairs of eyes. Immediately, the thundercloud churned intensely. Many black lightning lingered around the light pillar in a densely packed manner like some howling black pythons. Finally, they ruthlessly smashed towards the cluster of light egg within the light pillar. Bang, bang, bang. This earth-shaking-like strike caused even the entire medicine mountain to tremble. A deafening sound continued to appear unceasingly. Xiao Yan's expression was anxious as he looked at the cluster of light egg under the lightning that covered the sky. Within it was the Tier 9 mysterious pill. Once it experienced this lightning tribulation, it would be able to break out and appear. No one was able to aid it in such a matter. Even Xiao Yan could only choose to observe from the side. A Tier 9 mysterious pill was different from other medicinal pills, which allowed others to block the pill lightning. This kind of mysterious pill required the energy within the lightning to allow them to become completely perfect. Under Xiao Yan's anxious eyes, the cluster of light egg within the light pillar not only did not shatter but had instead become even brighter. Traces of black lightning arcs continued to flash over the egg. Crack! Those wild and fierce explosions continued for over 10 minutes before it gradually showed signs of weakening. The lightning had only just weakened when a slight cracking sound was emitted from the egg. Everyone immediately felt their hearts shook. Their eyes stared intently at the egg. It was possible to see a small crack line suddenly spreading on its surface. Crack, crack, crack. After the appearance of the first crack line, a domino effect seemed to have been created. An increasing number of crack lines appeared on the egg. Trace of light seeped out from within, causing the egg to be filled with a glaring light. Boom! A black thunderbolt suddenly rushed down from the sky just as the crack lines gradually covered the egg. It ruthlessly smashed onto the egg itself. Immediately, the many crack lines suddenly spread. Finally, it emitted a bang and finally exploded apart. A shocking medicinal fragrance spread in the sky the moment the egg exploded. The medicinal fragrance lingered and agglomerated into the shape of many medicinal herbs, which covered the sky. This appeared extremely mysterious. Swoosh! A light figure suddenly flashed and appeared in the sky while everyone were absent-minded because of this unusual scene in the sky. Immediately, it swiftly rushed out of the medicine mountain with lightning-like speed. The rich medicinal fragrance behind it was so dense that it also appeared to have a form. That is the Tier 9 mysterious pill. It is actually intending to escape. The entire mountain turned into an uproar after this light figure appeared. Countless of people suddenly stood up. Their eyes were heated as they looked at the light figure in the sky. Greed surged from deep within their eyes. There was hardly anyone who could remain calm in the face of the temptation from a Tier 9 mysterious pill. Humph! However, an icy cold snort resounded over the sky while greed rose in some people's hearts. This immediately caused their hearts to turn cold. They woke up and hurriedly and quickly withdrew their feet, which was about to step forward. It was likely that trying to snatch the Tier 9 mysterious pill from the hands of someone who had defeated the chief of the Hall of Soul was not a simple task. A pair of green-red bone wings appeared behind Xiao Yin after deterring these people who were ready to cause trouble. His body moved, and he appeared in front of the light figure. His hand slammed forward in the process. Yellow spring palm. An enormous energy handprint suddenly descended from the sky while being accompanied an intense wind pressure. It ruthlessly smashed onto the light figure. The handprint scattered the light on the surface of the figure. A trembling naked figure appeared in front of everyone's eyes. The figure had long black hair with a delicate and gentle, beautiful body. Those pretty large eyes contained some horror as they looked at Xiao Yin. That pitiful appearance stirred the protective desire of many people. It already knows how to use this method to confuse others after having just been born. A Tier 9 mysterious pill really lives up to its reputation. Xiao Yan's eyes were surprised as he looked at the naked, beautiful lady. However, he simply laughed softly and said, "A medicinal pill does not have any gender. You have turned into this appearance of yours a moment ago, right?" After hearing Xiao Yan's words, the originally pitiful-looking beauty was immediately startled. Her body pulled back hurriedly. Xiao Yan took a stride forward and directly appeared in front of the lady. He pointed with his finger, and it landed on his forehead with lightning-like speed. A spiritual imprint appeared, following which the lovely figure of the lady trembled, and it gradually became illusory. Finally, it turned into a round medicinal pill the size of a dragon eye with various unusually fragrance lingering over it. Xiao Yin took out a jade bottle from within his storage ring. After placing a few layers of spiritual seals on it, he finally carefully placed this Tier 9 mysterious pill inside. This pill had an extremely vast and mighty energy. Unfortunately, it did not know how to use it. Otherwise, even Xiao Yin would not have such an easy time subduing it. Seeing this, Xiao Yin placed the medicinal pill into his storage ring. Many people below revealed an expression of disappointment. However, the former ignored them. He turned around and looked at Hun Huzi, who was still engaged in an intense battle with the Northern King. He involuntarily laughed and waved his hand. The Northern King pulled back and floated beside him with indifferent eyes. "Haha, thank you for the gift." Xiao Yin laughed and cupped his hands together towards Hun Huzi, Old Man Shinnong, and Elder Wanhua after having kept the Northern King. Old Man Shinnong and Elder Wanhua smiled faintly upon hearing this. However, Hun Huzi's expression was distorted. He did not expect that the embryonic pill, which he had bitterly refined for a couple of days, had ended up aiding Xiao Yin. There are talents in every generation. Young friend Xiao Yan's accomplishment in terms of alchemist skills is really breathtaking. It is likely that no one in this alchemist world will be able to compare with you. You are indeed worthy of being the top alchemist. Old Man Shinnong beckoned with his hand. The green sea of flame in the sky turned into a medicinal herbs walking stick and appeared in his hand. He glanced at Xiao Yin and laughed. This Yao Chun is indeed taught an incredible disciple. If I have known this, I would not have allowed Yao Wangu to randomly do as he pleased back then. The many elders from the Yao clan had complicated expressions upon hearing these words. They looked at each other and could only sigh quietly. Regardless of how proud they were, they had no choice but to admit this at this moment. Clan head Yao Dan, Xiao Yin still have another request to make today. Xiao Yin glanced at Yao Lao, after which he looked at Yao Dan on the leader's chair, cupped his hands together and said, "I know what you wish to say." Yao Dan's expression was a little complicated. He sighed softly, glanced towards Yao Lao and said, "Yao Chun, from today onwards, you are perhaps the most outstanding talent within the Yao clan. You can leave whatever you like on the clan tablet." "Thank you, clan head Yao Dan." Yao Lao's hand trembled gently. His long-cherished wish was finally realized at this moment. Even with his calmness, his heart was still extremely excited. "Ha ha, clan head Yao Dan, I also have a request to make today." Hunhuzi in the sky suddenly opened his mouth and laughed with a strange expression the moment Xiao Yin sighed in relief. Oh! Yao Dan frowned slightly. He looked at Hunhuzi's expression. A caution surged into his heart. Please speak. The smile on Hunhuzi's face became even stranger upon seeing this. He licked his mouth. His next words, however, caused the expressions of everyone to change drastically. I wish to temporarily borrow the Tushi ancient god jade from the hands of the Yao clan.